really exciting project coming up that I feel like I've been hinting at forever, so I'm gonna tell you what it is right now. I'm writing a book! For this book, I'm adventuring around Europe, exploring my favorite things: bread, wine, and cheese. What do these things have in common? Fermentation. My posts may be a little sporadic, but I want to give you guys like a running diary of my travels. I'm not going to give it all away, of course, because I'm writing a book about it. So last year I went to my friend's vineyard in Italy. I made a video about that. So with this video, I want to do more of a deep dive into the nitty-gritty of what I learned there. This is Fermentation Diary Entry 1: How Wine Gets Made. This is the grape harvest.
Tutto bene? Tutto bene, tutto bene.
And at a place like Comelli Winery, it's a hands-on community effort. The grapes we're picking here are Pignolo grapes, and they're a varietal that's specific to this region. They date back as far as 1398 in the Friuli region. So what happens after the grapes are picked? You've got to destem them. And that's what this handy machine is doing for us. Pignolo differs from other red grapes because it ferments in these wooden casks as opposed to the steel tanks, which is where most of the wines ferment. So these initial steps continue through the morning, and meantime, another team of people are getting lunch together. The much anticipated celebration in which everyone who was picking grapes that morning comes together to cheers and to eat. It is a reason to celebrate, and yeah, I'll cheers to that. As soon as lunch is wrapped though, Eros the winemaker is back to work. The grafting of the yeast takes place right after the grapes arrive in the cellar and are destemmed. It's important to mix it well to ensure successful fermentation. And then maceration takes place, and this is basically when the grape skins hang out and soak with the grape juices. But more specifically, it's when the phenolic materials of the grape, tannins and the color of the skin, and flavor compounds are leached from the skins into the must, which is the freshly crushed fruit juice. And then we wait. A couple days later, Nicola took me to the cellar to check on the grapes. All the skins have risen to the top because the yeast converts the sugars in the juice into alcohol, and the byproduct of that is carbon dioxide. The skins that rise to the top, that's called the hat in wine speak, or in Italian, it's il cappello.
It's such a satisfying job.
Because you can see the real work immediately.
Like, but then also like the texture of this job.
It's hard.
Yeah, be careful because at one point you're gonna find the liquid, so it's going faster. Yeah. There you go. And see, like when you break it, then it's going to be easier because you just like break it.
Yeah, oh, there it is, there it is. And it gets easier. It's so fizzy. Mm-hmm. These are the Pignolo grapes that, that were just harvested. And like, wow, they're becoming wine right now. So if you put your hand just above here, it's actually warm. This is emanating warmth. And that's because this is the bacteria doing its thing, right? It's making wine. This is what's supposed to be happening. It's a little funky smelling, but in a good way. Does that make sense? So we have harvested the grapes, we have begun the fermentation. So Nicola, when can we finally get to drink this Pignolo?
In 4 to 6 years from now.
Okay, we'll come back with another video in, what year is that?
2024.
2024, yeah. See you then. But of course that didn't stop us from drinking Pignolo that day. I mean, come on. Right, so we're doing a taste test of the Pignolo, which were the grapes we just harvested. Nicola went to the cellar to grab a variety of ages. So this is the 2008, 2009, and 2011 Pignolo. So let's sip and see what they're like. No surprise, they were totally delicious. Did I ever expect anything less? No. But of course, as with most Italian wines, it is best enjoyed with Italian food. Grazie. Okay, so that was a really broad overview of how wine is made, but I did stay at Comelli Winery long enough to see parts of the process that I didn't even know existed. So if you wanna continue learning more about wine and how it's made, stick around for this next part of the video. We're gonna nerd out just a wee little bit with the winemaker Eros.
Quando fermenta il lievito produce CO2, quindi quando fermenta la CO2 cosa fa? Va verso l'alto e tiene tutto in movimento.
That's when this machine agitates that mixture, because just like we mixed it up before, it needs to be mixed up in this tank, and that's where the machine comes in handy. Eros showed me how you can see the difference between the liquid at the bottom of the tank and at the top of the tank, which just goes to show why it's so important to keep it agitated.
Qui sopra, ogni giorno, ogni 2 giorni, diciamo che questa è l'operazione che vedete fare nelle barrique, okay? Si chiama battonaggio.
If they don't do this, it oxidizes, and yeast actually absorbs the oxygen, so it's also a natural protection for the wine. Yet another reason it's important to stir, and if those sediments do settle on the bottom, it can cause problems with the smell.
Questo spinello è vicino al sedimento, è apposta, vicino al sedimento. Se c'è problema si sente subito, quindi se c'è un problema dobbiamo andare a assaggiare qui vino, non qua, perché quando arriva qua è già tardi. Andiamo a sentire se ci sono odori di riduzione, come dicevo a John, quindi di solfidrico, di zolfo, di uovo, scusate, quando si deposita, quando si compatta, sotto la pressione anche del peso, no? del vino stesso, no? Nella vasca, okay? E quindi bisogna mantenerlo in sospensione.
Let's take a look inside one of the red wine tanks and get a better sense of how red wine gets its color.
Vedi? Praticamente il cappello è su e se tu lasci così il colore no? Le bucce non sono interessate dal liquido e quindi bisogna vediamo se riesco a prenderlo senza andare, eccolo là. Vedi che ci sono bucce che sono diventate chiare e bucce che hanno ancora del colore, quindi noi questa operazione è per estrarre il colore dalla buccia, che però con la fermentazione tende a salire, no? A stare sopra il mosto in fermentazione, e quindi dobbiamo, no? calcarla giù oppure comunque bagnarla con il mosto da sopra. Adesso questa ha ancora qualche giorno, questi si chiamano rimontaggi, questa operazione si chiama rimontaggio, ok?
Okay. For the red grape harvest, fermentation occurs for 10 to 15 days. The liquid is taken out and the grape skins are brought to the big press and pressed for all of their juices, tannins, and flavors. All the liquid is bottled and then it sits. That's the second fermentation. Big, huge thank you to the Comelli family, Nicola, Eros, everyone involved. Thank you so much for letting me come and spend a week here. I learned so much about wine, and you have just informed all of us, all of my viewers, about wine too, so thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, grazie mille to my best friend Lara for being the translator this whole week. Ding, 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 ding. And don't forget to keep it quirky, right, La?
Yes.
Yeah. Whoa! Oh my god, it just hit my nose so hard.